Welcome to PastCast Weekly. This week in world politics, from a deadly attack on a peaceful beach to democracy quietly disappearing, leaders everywhere proved one thing. Problems are hard, but blaming others is very easy. On December 14th, a terrorist attack happened at a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach in Sydney. Gunmen opened fire on people celebrating a Jewish holiday. At least 15 people were killed. Many were injured. Australian leaders called it terrorism. World leaders condemned the attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also reacted strongly. He blamed Australia's government, saying anti-Semitism was not taken seriously enough. Instead of unity, the tragedy quickly turned into political arguments. When even a beach attack turns into finger-pointing, you know politics never takes a day off. Also, on December 14th, Hong Kong's last major opposition party voted to shut itself down. After years of pressure from Beijing, the party said it could no longer survive. This means Hong Kong now has almost no political opposition left. An important chapter of Hong Kong's democracy quietly ended. In Hong Kong, politics still exists. It's just no longer allowed to disagree. Over the weekend, the US and Ukraine met in Berlin to discuss peace with Russia. Ukraine said it may even give up joining NATO if it gets strong security protection instead. Talks were long, progress was slow, and no one looked very confident. When peace talks last all night, it usually means peace is still very far away. By the way, if you're confused by these peace talks, you're not alone. Trump had a 28-point plan. Then it became 19 points. Now many people think it means zero hope. We broke it all down in our latest video, Ukraine Peace Plan Chaos, 28 points, 19 points, or zero hope. If you want to understand what's really going on, go watch it after this. Also, throughout the week, Europe said it still supports Ukraine. Leaders talked about unity, strength, and standing together. But behind the scenes, countries worried about costs, risks, and how long the war will last. Everyone says we stand together, but everyone is quietly checking their own wallet. On December 10th, the US Congress passed a huge defense bill. It spent almost $900 billion on the military. But there was a twist. Congress also limited President Trump's power, especially on moving troops overseas. Even Trump's own side wanted more control. In Washington, even when politicians agree to spend money, they still don't trust each other. On December 14th, West African leaders rejected a military government's plan in Guinea-Bissau. They said the military was taking too long to return power to civilians. Sanctions were threatened. Pressure increased. When even other African governments say this coup is too messy, you know something is wrong. And that's PastCast Weekly, where democracy fades quietly, peace talks go in circles, and even tragedy can't escape politics. See you next week, if the world doesn't surprise us first.